sort of still feels he's got a bit left to give in the sport. This is a way in for him. Matthew Pinson has been giving the protocol at the start, and the start will be given. This is the second semi-final of the Silver Goblets between Macdonald and Mackintosh from New Zealand on the left of your picture, and Corrigan and Cook from Oxford University, Great Britain, on the right of your picture, closest to the island.
Yeah, frankly, Martin, this would be a hell of a scalp for Cook and Corrigan from Oxford University Boat Club if they can beat Macdonald and Mackintosh from New Zealand, the selected men's pair from New Zealand, both part of the Kiwi 8 that won gold in Tokyo. So there's no greater pedigree in world rowing, arguably two of the best athletes, heavyweight sweep on the planet. So Corrigan and Cook definitely up against it, but smooth starts from both crews, and you can see there the New Zealanders out to probably a canvas coming out at the end of the island.
Yeah, never write off Liam Corrigan. You know, in all those seat races he had for US selection for the men's A, I'm not sure if he lost one of them. I really heard that he's fantastic, aggressive. The Harvard oarsman come over to do a Masters at Oxford, and the Kiwis have gone out quick, but Oxford are right in there, aren't they?
They absolutely are. I mean, Liam Corrigan, it's testament to how strong the Oxford Blue Boat was this year. That I think he wasn't in the middle of the boat, and I think that was reserved for Charlie Aylways, people like that. He was, you know, towards the bow, I think, and a superb athlete, but comes from an amazing program. Sean Bowden, and as you say, Harvard University, US international experience. But the Kiwis here just showing their class early on. I think Cook and Corrigan, if they had any chance of overturning two of the best rowers on the planet, they wanted to do it early, but just failing to get ahead, get their bows ahead and shake the feathers.
This Kiwi crew coached by Gary Roberts. Matt Macdonald is up in the bow seat. He was the stroke of that 8 that famously won gold on the Tokyo course. And Tom Mackintosh in the stroke seat, the 25-year-old, well, he rode in the bow seat. So the pair is changed round. This is the way they go. They won in Poznan by about 5 seconds, which was a decent margin, and they have looked very impressive on this regatta course here. And at the moment, it looks to be the Kiwis will be setting themselves up for a Goblets final contest against Ollie Wynne-Griffith and Tom George.
Yeah, certainly will. I mean, the Kiwis need no introduction in the small boats. Eric Murray and Hamish Bond, of course, double Olympic champions in the men's pair. And Mackintosh and Macdonald looking to replicate that feat. Of course, they did win at Henley, Bond and Murray, I think in 2013, equaling the record of Sir Steve Redgrave and Sir Matthew Pinson. But at the moment, in total control of this race on the right-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, I'd say almost total control, because I think, you know, Liam Corrigan and Ollie Cook will be, you know, really pleased that they've managed to hang on to the New Zealanders. I think Ollie Cook in the bow of that British pair, he got a lot of criticism, unfairly in my view, for the British force steering out of lane, when basically I think, you know, guys on one side of the boat just were toast and they couldn't put any pressure down, and Ollie, you know, he was the steersman, he took all the flack. He's a great lad and he took all the flack for it. But you know, if you're wondering why the British forward did that, it was basically they were going after the Aussies in the Tokyo Olympics, and they put everything into it and didn't have anything left in the last part of the race.
Well, look, Martin, if you're in an Olympic final, you've got to go for gold, right? And if you substitute out and you don't manage to get the silver or the bronze, at least you went for the gold. And I think it's easy to criticise from the outside. We haven't seen, you know, crews often deviate from their lane, and Ollie, of course, as you say, took all the criticism and took it in his stride, and maybe wanted a bit of time out of rowing just to recalibrate. But back here on the Henley stretch, and you have to say he's looking really, really good. This Oxford pair, a superb pair, you know, by any measure, by any standard, but coming up against two of arguably the best athletes in the world.
Yeah, Matt Macdonald closest to us in the bow seat of the Kiwi pair, Tom Mackintosh in the stroke seat. Mackintosh from the Hawke's Bay Club, which is the same club that Emma Twigg rows for. Sadly, she had to withdraw for medical reasons from the regatta. And Matt Macdonald for the North Shore Club. Both of these men are rowing for the Wairiki Rowing Club here, which is kind of the name that New Zealand use when their crews come to Henley. And, you know, they're not slacking it off at all. They're still pretty much up there, 35 strokes a minute, and still going for it, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely, and not out of respect for Oxford. It's due to the fact that Oxford are still putting pressure on them, still in this race. But I mean, they are a superb pair. Just watching them as they were coming down, as you were speaking, Martin, it just they're so smooth. There just doesn't seem to be any fuss at either end of the stroke. The way that they row is maximum efficiency. It's power combined with poise, and that combination is just deadly.
And just like the Kiwi 8 did in Tokyo with that third quarter, they really blasted through that third quarter and edged out on these two. Liam Corrigan in the stroke seat. Fantastic guy. Talked to him on Cross's Corner. He's a lovely man. He's hoping to go back to the USA to be in trials for their team this year at the World Championships in the Czech Republic on the Rechiche course. Ollie Cook, well, we may see him back at Caversham for the British team in 2023, going for the Paris Olympics. Who knows? At the moment, it's the British, the crew from Oxford University, or British and American to be strictly accurate, on the left of your picture. They are still in contact with the New Zealanders. You know, anything could be possible, but I think these two New Zealanders have got just such fantastic physiology. Mid 540s on the 2K erg. You know, who's gonna get them back at this stage of the race, Tom?
I mean, the engine that they have on board, you can see the broadness of their shoulders. I mean, it's like, it's amazing. They are just supreme physiological beings, and you need to be right to row at this level. And credit to Cook and Corrigan, they are trying their best, their level best, to get back in contact. A little look over there from Liam Corrigan in the stroke seat of the Oxford crew, but I think he knows that it's going to take something otherworldly at this point. See there, Sean Bowden looking out from the umpire's launch, watching his crew. I'm sure he'll be delighted to have them in the semi-finals of the Goblets in what is, as you've already pointed out, Martin, a pretty stacked year for Henley Regatta entries.
It is. This is a fantastic race. I know the Kiwis are winning, but they are a phenomenal pair. They won by 5 seconds at Poznan in World Cup 2 against the Dutch pair of Nicky van Sprang and Leonard Leroy. And, you know, I guess the Oxford pair are less than 5 seconds behind the Kiwis at the moment. So, you know, that shows the class of this Oxford pair, you know, probably a medal pair, a podium pair in the World Cup, Tom.
Well, exactly, and I actually had a look at some of the results. The GB pair, of course, raced at the GB pair of Wing Griffith and Tom George raced at World Cup 1 and beat the Dutch by about the same margin, so he could be in for an absolute barnstormer tomorrow in the final. I
think we will be, but at the moment, the Kiwis, they haven't had a chance to let up all the way down the course. They've been redlining it, just maybe 99% rather than 100%. There's the charge from Corrigan and Cook. It's been fantastic to watch the Oxford pair. Liam Corrigan hopefully going to be an international this year for the USA, but it's the Kiwis who come through to the finish in this semi-final of the Silver Goblets. Oxford have heard the buzzer, but they don't let up. They go through to the line. A great effort from the two Oxford men, but these two boys from the Kiwi pair, well, is this a new generation? Murray and Bond, as you were talking about, this time Macdonald and Mackintosh beat Cook and Corrigan to go through to the final.
Massive, massive shoes to fill, you know, arguably the best rowers of the decade, Murray and Bond, but Macdonald and Mackintosh with a gold medal already in their pockets. You can see there, the crowd know when they see something good, and both crews put in sterling performances, but the class of the Kiwis just showed through there and sets up an absolutely mouth-watering contest between them and the Brits tomorrow.